morning, and thank you for choosing CBS for Daybreak. I'm Jesse McDonough.
And I'm Nate Barrett. Welcome to Friday morning. Feels so nice. Let's get a look at this morning's top stories. Pope Francis will address 170 world leaders at the United Nations General Assembly on his first full day in New York City. The Pope's packed schedule also includes a visit to the World Trade Center, a school in Harlem, as well as a mass at Madison Square Garden.
He's a rock star. The new iPhone 6s launches today. Apple fans already lining up to get the newest iPhones. An Australian buyer made the first purchase in Sydney. Sprint and T-Mobile are offering the iPhone 6s when trading in the previous iPhone 6 version.
Don't drop that phone. Safer school buses for Socorro ISD pre-K and kinders. How the district is implementing a new safety protocol to protect its students and give parents some peace of mind. First, though, let's get a check on that weather with Joshua Zuber. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning, Nate, and good morning, everyone. It's a gorgeous morning out there. Real mild, real calm, nice temperatures here. 68 degrees. We got a good bit of cloud cover here out at the airport. Those winds between 5 to 10 miles per hour. Las Cruces, you're at 64 right now under mostly clear skies and winds under 10 miles per hour. The radar picture across the region, it is quiet. We're likely to remain dry here throughout the day and even into the weekend, which means after some slightly cooler temperatures today, we had a little bit of some cooler air pushing into the region here. We're going to get back into the 90s before you know it. I'll let you know when coming up.
Thanks, Josh. Pope Francis is getting ready to start his first full day in the Big Apple. And after stepping into the famed St. Patrick's Cathedral, the pontiff is declared a New Yorker.
I'm convinced that we can make a difference. I'm sure.
Pope Francis rode in his Pope-mobile, flanked on all sides by heavy security in New York. But the pontiff took his time, waving, smiling, and accepting gifts. He arrived in the Big Apple after a busy stretch in D.C., where he spoke with Congress and handed out lunch to the poor.
I would especially like to thank and express my esteem and gratitude to the religious women of the United States. What? Indeed, what would the church be without you?
During his speech on Capitol Hill, Pope Francis urged lawmakers to work together and help the powerless, namely undocumented immigrants and the poor. Religious leaders in southern New Mexico invite the public to watch the Holy Father deliver his message to Congress. Dozens of Catholics and churchgoers filed into the Immaculate Heart of Mary in Las Cruces to watch the Pope speak to lawmakers. During a speech, he asked the country to treat undocumented immigrants more humanely. Organizers tell CBS 4 people living in southern New Mexico are connecting with the speech because of the struggles that they face there.
I think most was his idea of inclusion, of including everyone, especially the immigrants, the most vulnerable, and our young people. And I think that hit home for a lot of folks in New Mexico because we're ranked 49th in child welfare, and we have a large immigrant population. And I think people really took that to heart.
As we reported, Cafe, the group that organized the watch party, also sent 3 people to Philadelphia to meet the Pope, along with other church officials. You can find coverage of Pope Francis. Just visit our website, cbs4local.com. We are streaming live coverage of all the Pope's appearances until Sunday. We also have a schedule up of his events.
An El Paso group is protesting against U.S. immigration policies. The Detained Migrant Solidarity Committee held a demonstration. The group was outside a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Detention Center in East El Paso. Demonstrators are calling on the U.S. to end ISIS's practice of detaining families, something they call inhumane. Last summer, the department adopted new practices as an influx of Central Americans crossed the border, often with young children. ICE says they are working to improve condition, but protesters say it isn't happening fast enough.
He understands that this is not a partisan issue. It doesn't matter what party you're in, regardless of whether or not you participate in politics in the United States or anywhere else in this world.
ICE says it has established a federal advisory committee made up of experts to guide them on policies. Safer buses at Socorro schools. A new safety measure going into effect aims to give parents a little more peace of mind when sending their little one off to pre-K and kindergarten. CBS 4 Daybreak reporter Ashley Clastor is live in East El Paso with how the district is making the ride home safer for everyone. Ashley.
Good morning. A little pink slip is what you'll need soon to pick up your Socorro ISD students. This is the district's way of being absolutely certain that the adult taking your kid off the bus is authorized and registered. Each parent will get a pink card, will get 6 pink cards per child. That way, if a grandparent, neighbor, or friend needs to pick them up that day, they'll have clearance.
It's just another safety measure. We always receive feedback from our parents, and that was one thing that they recommended. Sometimes I'm running late, my neighbor has to pick up my child, but I want to make sure that you know that they have authorization to pick up. So just a quick way and a very safe way to ensure that the parent or the adult that's there to pick up their child is authorized to pick them up from our bus. If not, our bus drivers have to bring their child back to their home campus.
These new safety measures will go into effect for certain pre-K and kindergarten schools on October 12th, and the remaining schools will see the effects on January 2016. We've put the full list of schools beginning in October on our website, cbs4local.com. Reporting live in East El Paso, Ashley Claster, CBS 4 Daybreak.
In continuing coverage, the clock is winding down again for El Paso Children's Hospital. Children's now faces a 10 a.m. deadline to accept or deny University Medical Center's latest offer to save the hospital from bankruptcy. El Paso County Commissioners and UMC met in executive session to come up with a new set of terms for Children's to agree upon, to allow Children's to try and find a strategic partner and delay next month's lawsuit. County Judge Veronica Escobar hopes both sides will finally agree on a deal.
We really have made a very good faith effort in trying to accommodate them and help them. At this point, it's in their hands.
If both sides can't make a deal, UMC has stated it is prepared to move forward with asking the bankruptcy court to terminate Children's exclusive right to a survival plan.
A handful of UMC employees made an appearance at the executive session petitioning for higher salaries. Many of them are resident housekeepers fighting to be paid $15 an hour. They say the fight isn't just personal, but to make sure other employees don't leave the hospital.
They come in and they leave because they can't make it with the pay that they're getting.
A worker says the bankruptcy case hasn't helped their cause. She insists it's making their case in front of the powers that be even more difficult.
It's time to tailgate.
The things you need to know before heading out to UTEP's home games.
And if you like to keep up on local high school football but can't get out to the game tonight, we got you covered. We'll tell you when you can get all the highlights from the comfort of your home. Josh?
Good morning, everybody. Here we are at 6:08. It's Friday here. We're getting ready for that weekend. Temperature is going to be just a little bit cooler here than yesterday. We're going to be high of 86 in El Paso. We were in the 90s yesterday. We'll talk about, though, when those 90s will return just ahead here on CBS 4 Daybreak.